On June 18, 2013, the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Energy and Power held a 3-hour and 4-minute hearing on barriers to fossil fuel exports. This is Natural Gas 102, and we're going to give it to you in just 5 minutes. The committee background memo said the hearing would focus on both exports of liquefied natural gas and coal. On LNG, the committee pointed out that the United States is now the world's top natural gas producer, but exporting any of that in liquefied form requires permits by both the Department of Energy and the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Potential exporters also have to worry about a limited time frame, limited markets, and future litigation. The laws governing U.S. LNG exports are very old. As a result, the agencies interpreting these laws don't have a lot of precedent. So this hearing was a great chance to hear the current agency heads explain their interpretation of their own authority. Any LNG exporter needs a permit from FERC.
With respect to LNG, the Commission is an environmental and safety regulatory agency. The Commission does not authorize the import or the export of LNG. That authority rests with the Department of Energy. The Commission's review process is comprised of 3 distinct phases: pre-filing review, application review, and post-authorization review.
A natural gas exporter also needs a permit from the Department of Energy.
The Department's authority to regulate the export of natural gas arises from the Natural Gas Act, which provides 2 statutory standards for processing applications to export LNG from the United States. One for export to free trade agreement nations and one for export to nations with which the United States does not have a free trade agreement. By law, applications to export natural gas to free trade agreement nations are deemed consistent with the public interest, and the Secretary of Energy must grant authorization without modification or delay. As of today, the Department of Energy has approved 24 long-term applications to export lower 48 LNG to free trade agreement countries, and there are 3 that are currently pending. For applications to export natural gas to non-FTA nations, the Secretary of Energy must grant the authorization unless, after opportunity for hearing, the proposed export is found to not be consistent with the public interest. The Department's review of applications to export LNG to non-FTA countries is conducted through a publicly transparent process which includes full public interest review. To date, the Department has granted 2 long-term applications to export domestically produced lower 48 LNG to non-FTA countries. Currently, the Department of Energy has 20 non-FTA export applications pending. Going forward, the Department will continue processing the pending applications on a case-by-case basis, following the order of precedence previously established and set forward on the Department of Energy's website.
Getting a FERC permit for a facility is costly and time-consuming, but it is fairly well understood.
Mr. Wright, does FERC have a timetable for its review of its process?
And we're in relatively new territory with export applications. We would love to get our formal application review done in 18 to 24 months.
18 to 24 months. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Department of Energy process, on the other hand, is a complete guessing game.
And based on your remarks recently at the Senate Energy hearing, it's been suggested that the remaining applications may be considered at a 1 project every 2 months pace. Is that true?
What we are able to say is 2 things. First, we are looking at these on a case-by-case basis, so it's going to vary between projects. Yeah. But if you look at our performance for the Freeport application between closing of the public comment and the release of the application was just over 2 months.
The second panel was made up of stakeholders and analysts. For the most part, the environmentalists on the second panel focused on coal. LNG supporters were emphatic.
Free trade and exports aren't particularly divisive concepts in the United States, but for some reason, and as we're sitting here today, for some reason when you put the word energy in front of export, we all wind up wrapped around the axle. The United States is energy rich and domestic supply will soon exceed demand. Exports of energy are a reality.
The real debate is not whether we're going to export too much natural gas, but whether we may lose out from a highly competitive market and export too little.
The issue is the establishment of the queue in the first place. Notice of the queue was not published in the Federal Register with an opportunity for the public to comment. The failure to provide such notice and comment renders the queue void.
And those are the highlights. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and visit our webpage.